Quick question. What would you do with $420 million a week? That's more than the annual budget of some small nations. Enough to buy multiple professional sports teams outright. Enough to lose billions to rats and mold and barely notice. These weren't just criminals. They were billionaires, operating in shadows, building empires that rivaled Fortune 500 companies and quietly reshaped entire countries. Their wealth didn't just buy mansions and jets, it bought governments, armies, and silence. This is not a list of street dealers. This is the billionaire class of the underworld. Number 1, Pablo Escobar. At his peak, Pablo Escobar was making an estimated $420 million every single week. Let that sink in. That's over $22 billion a year in the 1980s. Adjusted for inflation, Escobar's fortune would dwarf the net worth of many modern tech CEOs. Forbes officially listed him as one of the richest men on earth, estimating his net worth at over $30 billion. And even that number was considered conservative. Escobar's Medellin cartel controlled 80% of the global cocaine market. 8 out of every 10 lines snorted worldwide traced back to him. His operation moved so much cash that banks couldn't handle it. His accountants reportedly wrote off $2 billion a year, not stolen, not seized, simply destroyed by rats, rot, and mold while stacked in warehouses. Once, while hiding from authorities, Escobar famously burned $2 million in cash just to keep his daughter warm. To move his product, Escobar didn't rely on a single method. He used planes, submarines, speedboats, hidden compartments, and even coffins. His logistics network rivaled military supply chains. His wealth bought technology, routes, and manpower that entire governments struggled to counter. Violence was part of the business model. Escobar bombed commercial airplanes. He ordered assassinations of judges, journalists, police chiefs, and presidential candidates. At one point, Colombia felt less like a country and more like a battlefield between the state and one man's bank account. And yet in the slums of Medellin, Escobar was seen as a hero. He built homes, schools, soccer fields, and handed out cash like a patron saint. Mothers prayed to him. Children wore shirts with his face. He wasn't just feared, he was worshipped. The Colombian government eventually made a deal so absurd it feels fictional. They built him his own prison. Escobar designed it. He lived there comfortably. Then, when it no longer suited him, he escaped. Even after his death, his legacy lingered. The hippos he illegally imported still roam Colombia today, outliving him, like a surreal monument to excess. Escobar wasn't just rich. He redefined what criminal wealth could look like. Number 2, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. If Escobar was loud wealth, El Chapo was systematic wealth. Over the course of his career, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is believed to have generated over $14 billion trafficking cocaine, heroin, meth, and fentanyl. The DEA once described his organization, the Sinaloa Cartel, as the most powerful drug trafficking operation in the world. At his peak, El Chapo wasn't just moving drugs, he was moving hundreds of tons at a time into the United States. And he didn't rely on luck. He built underground tunnels so advanced they had lighting, ventilation, and rail systems. These weren't smuggling holes, they were engineering projects. His wealth bought entire cities' worth of loyalty. Police, generals, politicians, judges. One witness claimed El Chapo offered a $100 million bribe to a sitting president. Whether fully true or not, the fact that it sounded believable says everything about his reach. He owned fleets of luxury vehicles, multiple properties, and even private zoos. Exotic animals roaming estates guarded by armed men, symbols of wealth so extreme they bordered on parody. Despite being locked inside maximum security prisons, El Chapo escaped twice. Once hidden in a laundry cart, once through a mile-long tunnel dug directly under his cell, complete with a motorcycle mounted on rails. Eventually, the run ended. He was captured, extradited to the United States, and sentenced to life in prison. But the money didn't disappear, and neither did the organization. His sons remain active. His brand survived him. His systems are still in use. El Chapo wasn't just rich. He built a criminal empire designed to outlive him. Number 3, Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco didn't just break into a man's world, she dominated it. At her peak, Blanco was pulling in over $80 million a month. That's nearly $3 million a day in the 1970s and 80s. Her Miami operation was so profitable, it helped ignite the infamous Cocaine Cowboy era. She pioneered smuggling techniques that are now legendary, hiding cocaine in bras, girdles, baby carriages, anything that could cross borders unnoticed. What others improvised, she perfected. Blanco lived in mansions filled with diamonds and cash. She allegedly ordered hits with casual cruelty, including one rival reportedly gunned down at Disney World, a detail so surreal it feels fictional. She wasn't just intelligent, she was vicious. Her own bodyguard later claimed she had more confirmed kills than most of her male rivals. She reportedly ordered murders for irritation, jealousy, or amusement. Lovers who annoyed her didn't last long. In a chilling bit of symbolism, she named her son Michael Corleone after the Godfather. Eventually arrested, deported, and seemingly faded from relevance, Blanco met a fitting end, shot while buying groceries. She was the queen of cocaine before documentaries, podcasts, and streaming deals ever existed. Griselda Blanco wasn't just wealthy. She was untouchable until she wasn't. Number 4, Ismael El Mayo Zambada. While others chased fame, El Mayo chased invisibility. Ismael Zambada is the ghost billionaire of the drug world. For over 40 years, he has never been arrested, not once. While El Chapo drew headlines, Zambada stayed silent, operating as the invisible hand behind the Sinaloa cartel. His organization functioned like a multinational corporation, decentralized, adaptable, and ruthlessly efficient. Massive shipments of meth, cocaine, and heroin moved through land, sea, and air routes with precision. Government estimates suggest his earnings rivaled El Chapo's, placing him firmly in the billionaire category. But unlike others, he never flaunted it. No flashy interviews, no public spectacles. Instead, he spent his money on the most valuable commodities of all: silence, protection, and political cover. When his own son was captured and extradited, Zambada didn't retaliate. No public violence, no dramatic response. He stayed calm and untouched. In an era of flashy narcos and social media bravado, El Mayo built a billion-dollar empire by never being seen. He may be the richest criminal you've never laid eyes on. And we're only halfway through. Number 5, Amado Carrillo Fuentes, the Lord of the Skies. Amado Carrillo Fuentes didn't just move drugs, he moved airspace. At his peak in the 1990s, Carrillo Fuentes reportedly made over $25 billion, turning cocaine trafficking into something that looked less like crime and more like an airline business. While other cartels relied on boats and trucks, Amado looked upward. He purchased a fleet of more than 30 Boeing 727s, actual commercial jets. At one point, intelligence agencies believed he owned more aircraft than Mexico's national airline. The skies became his private highway, with tons of cocaine flown directly from Colombia into Mexico and onward into the United States at a scale no one had ever seen before. This wasn't improvisation, it was infrastructure. Amado pioneered direct deals with Colombian suppliers, cutting out middlemen and increasing profit margins. His Juarez cartel ran like a logistics empire, with pilots, mechanics, radar intelligence, and coordinated landing strips scattered across the country. His wealth bought high-tech safe houses, encrypted communications, and protection from military officials. He lived like a head of state, luxury homes, security details, and complete insulation from street-level violence. But with visibility came pressure. As US and Mexican forces closed in, Amado made a desperate gamble. He attempted to change his identity through plastic surgery, hoping to disappear into obscurity. The operation never ended. He died on the operating table. Not long after, the two surgeons who performed the procedure were found dead inside concrete barrels. Amado Carrillo Fuentes didn't just fly above the law. He tried to surgically escape it and paid the ultimate price. Number 6, Rafael Caro Quintero, the architect before the architects. Before billion-dollar cartels became household names, there was Rafael Caro Quintero. By the age of 35, Caro Quintero had reportedly made over $500 million, a staggering fortune for the era. His operation wasn't flashy, but it was vast. He ran enormous marijuana plantations in northern Mexico, producing thousands of tons annually. He built his own private runway. He kept exotic animals. He once dropped $2 million on a single wedding. But Caro Quintero's true power wasn't money, it was infrastructure. He co-founded the Guadalajara cartel, forging early partnerships with Colombian traffickers and establishing reliable smuggling routes across the US-Mexico border. What he helped create became the foundation of modern cartel operations. Then came 1985. The kidnapping, torture, and murder of DEA agent Kiki Camarena sent shockwaves through both governments. The response was immediate and brutal. Caro Quintero fled, was captured, and sentenced to decades in prison. Then, in 2013, something almost unthinkable happened. He was released due to a legal technicality. Number 7, Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, the Godfather. Before chaos, there was order. Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo wasn't just a drug lord, he was the organizer. A former police officer with deep political connections, Gallardo understood something no one else did at the time. Scale required structure. These weren't just criminals with cash. They were economic forces, men and women whose wealth rivaled corporations and whose decisions reshaped nations. They built systems, industries, and legacies that still ripple through the world today. Some ruled through fear, others through structure, a few through invisibility. But all of them proved the same unsettling truth. When money reaches a certain scale, it stops being currency and becomes power. If any of these figures shocked you, let us know in the comments. And if you think we missed someone, you're probably right. Because in the shadows of history, there's always another billionaire no one wants to talk about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay curious.